If you wanna stay with me, if you wanna try.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Board Game Specialist. I am Melanie, and today on episode 126, I'm going to be doing this episode solo because it's summer. Me and Carla just can't seem to get our schedule to coincide. All week I was on vacation, so I wasn't able to record, and I didn't have my equipment with me. And by the time I was back able to record, then Carla couldn't. So at first we'll be like, well, let's delay it. Now it's already going to be delayed a little bit because this episode was supposed to go live Monday. It's not Monday anymore. So it at first would be like, let's delay it for a week. But this coming weekend is fall con, so I'm going to be gone all weekend, so we would have to delay it some more. So we decided to just let's do this solo episode because I've got stuff I want to tell you guys about. I've played some games while I was on vacation, so I want to bring that up. And let's get into the right spot here. Where am I in my presentation? I don't think this loaded properly. Let me see if I can go get it. All right. Let's open the proper file. There we go. Hopefully that's loading properly, and hopefully I'm still getting some. There we go. So the Board Game Specialist, episode 126. Let's get going with this. So as I mentioned, I was on vacation. Me and Lee took a week off. Actually, he's got 2 weeks off, although he's working today. But in the middle of our week away, he had a golf tournament he had to attend. So we took the opportunity, since he's had to get the hotel for his work anyways, to make our vacation out of that. So we went to Edmonton, and I'm going to be talking about my vacation and what we did. So we actually stayed at a hotel right across from West Edmonton Mall. West Edmonton Mall, if you're not local, is I think the largest mall in Canada, but it's huge mall. It has over 800 shops and restaurants inside the mall. And this is one of the little restaurant area that looks like you're inside of a city, but this is inside of the mall. There's a game store, so that was good. I did stop by River City Games in the mall. I ended up going home with no new games, so that was impressive for me. I mean, they had a decent selection, but my game collection is very large, so there wasn't really any game that was on my lookout that I saw there. So but it was kind of neat to browse anyways. There's an ice rink inside this mall. Like, this is how big West Edmonton Mall is. Like, there's a full-size ice rink. It is by far the most comfortable spot in the mall because it was hot. And even in the mall, it felt a little warm. But if you went to kind of stand by the ice, then it was nice and cool. There was a couple of hockey games going. There'd been some figure skating. There was just like fun skate as well. So the ice rink was going all the time. There's also a really big water park in here. So with tons of like slides and a wave pool, and we didn't end up going in there, but that was there. They also have the Galaxy Land. So there's a roller coaster and like an amusement park inside this mall as well. We also didn't go in that area, but kind of debated a little bit. We ended up not going. And this is a mini golf that was in the mall. I'm not sure where this one was located because actually there's 2 mini golf in the mall. This is one of them. Now, we didn't stay in Fantasyland Hotel, but I got to show you guys. And the reason we didn't stay there is because it was fully booked. But I do want to go to Fantasyland Hotel again, and mainly because they have themed rooms. Now, let me show you what I mean. This is the Western room. So each room, depending on the size, like some have like bunk beds and a main bed, but they all have like jacuzzi in the tub. Now, I don't know if that's like the deluxe room that has a jacuzzi right there in the tub, or if it's just like the theme room or how it all works. When I stayed, they did have the jacuzzi. I only got to go there once, so I'm hoping to go there again. But all these rooms are themed. So let me show you. So this is the Western room. You have the pirate room. This would have been so cool to stay in. There's like a princess room, I want to say. And then there's like this igloo room. So your bed is a circle and you're inside of an igloo. Like that is so cool. I'm not even sure what theme this one is. But there is this one. There's like a Roman room. There's a space room. I want to say, let's go there and watch all the Star Wars movies. And then is it the jungle room, or I'm not sure what this one is, but it looks really cool. So all of these are in the Fantasyland Hotel. We didn't stay there, but we stayed right across the street so we could just walk over. We were only there 3 days. So we went to see a movie, and the movie we went to see was the F1 movie. Now it's rated 18A, and I'm not sure why, because there was really nothing about this movie that I wouldn't let like a 14-year-old watch. But it was actually really good. So we went into the IMAX theater, which also is inside the mall, and ended up watching the F1 movie. Now, after that movie, we went to the Wild West shooting range. So here I am with my protective gear on, so glasses and safety for the ears. I did have a video here, and I'm not sure how that's going to play. It's playing. I'm not sure if you guys can hear the sound. I'm not sure if you can hear me. I think you can still hear me. But I ended up shooting 2 semi-automatic handguns. And then I ended up shooting 2 rifle. And turns out I am not a natural born killer. I did hit the target, but I didn't hit the right area of the target. So I was a little bit off to the side and below where I was aiming all the time. So if I'm out shooting, or, if I need to be, I guess, aim up and to the left. So I'll try to remember that. But it was kind of cool to see, like, try these. Now, I had shot a gun before, but only a 22 rifle. We lived on a farm, so we had to take care of some pests sometimes, or things that were attacking animals. So that I had shot that before. Now this one though is really cool. Lee ended up doing the bigger package, so he also got to do a revolver as well, which he thought was really cool. But that was, and I think this video is like 4 minutes. I'm gonna skip ahead, but that was also inside the mall, the Wild West shooting range. And it was just kind of interesting to try and do. Then we went to a mini golf. Now I showed you a picture of a mini golf. We went to a different mini golf. As I mentioned, there's 2 in the mall. We went to the glow in the dark one. So it was really cool, like how everything was so shiny, and then like the course was fun. I ended up losing by, I don't know, a few points. There was a couple of tricky runs. But we had a really good time with that. And then on the last day, we ended up doing an exit game. So we did the Alien Outbreak escape room. And now this room looks amazing. There's actually 3 parts to this, or 4. So you go into the main section. You got to figure out to make it into the next room, where and this room is kind of like in the shape of a U. There's a bunch of different things there. And then you got to figure what you need to do to get to the last room. And in the last room, you need to open up this door and figure stuff out. Now, he gave us, the guy that was running the event, he gave us like the sign that we escaped. We did not escape. I don't know if we would have escaped, but the room, unfortunately, had not been reset properly. And some of the stuff that we needed to, it was like a file that we needed to get some clues, wasn't in the room. So we wouldn't have been able to solve it. But there was one clue that was in the room that I completely missed, unless the file was in there. But I did end up not opening this one thing because I missed this one clue. But the guy said, he's like, no, but you guys were like on the ball and really quick. So I will give it to you as you guys would have been successful, because it did kind of delay us. But it was so cool. Like, that room looked impressive. So that was the alien escape room that we did at also West Edmonton Mall. But here's what I want to talk to you guys about: the ship. So inside this mall, there's this big water area, not the pool, but like another water area. And they have a pirate ship that is called the Ship. And this ship is like, it's massive. It's this big pirate ship inside the water. Now, there's other activities that goes on in the water. You can take like this pedal boat in the shape of a swan and go around. There's some sort of animal show. I don't know if it's seals. Maybe they're seals. I can't remember which animal, but there's like a show that they will do there. But this pirate ship, when I was looking at what we were wanting to do at the mall, you can rent a table on the pirate ship for 90 minutes. And they advertise, it's like, come play a game, take a break. I was like, oh my God, Leah's like, let's rent a table on the ship and play pirate games. And lucky for me, Lee I think you saw just how excited I was about this. Like, I was ridiculously excited about this prospect. So he's like, all right, fine. Here's some more pictures of the ship. Like, it's just a neat looking ship. So packed up some pirate games and we ended up playing on the ship in the mall. It was so cool. Now we did I said $25 for 90 minutes. I don't know that they really kind of policed it all that much. Would be worthwhile, like, to do a couple, like a couple of stays of that and then just stay for a long period of time, but it was cool. So I'm going to do the games that I brought and played on this pirate ship. Now, we have done a top 9 games, pirate-themed games, when we first got started with this podcast. That was on episode 7, so a lifetime ago now. Almost 120 episodes ago. Like, it was 119 episodes ago. And I remember, apparently it was my idea to do top 9 pirate games. And at the time, I had not played 9 different pirate games. I had to go to the store buy some more games just to be able to get my list together. And I've been like kind of collecting pirate games ever since, just even though the list was already done. It's like, oh my God, that's not acceptable. I need to have at least 9 apparently. But this is me on the ship, on the table, and then with some of the games that I had brought. Now, pardon my hair. It was raining, so I straightened my hair, but it just curls right back up. So it was all tied up. My hair is a complete mess. But these are some of the games that I had brought. And I'm going to show you which games we played, which games we brought, which games I could have brought and didn't bring, or so on. So first game that we ended up playing on the actual pirate ship was Pirate Fluxx. It's just perfect. This is the first game that we played, mainly because Fluxx game, everybody knows how to play. As soon as you decide, hey, let's play Fluxx, you kind of don't really have to pay attention to the rules. You just pull out the main rule cord and it says pick up a card and play a card. So that's all you need to do. So you start, you have your starting hand, you pick up a card, and then you'll play a card and that'll kind of dictate what you're doing. So there will be some keeper cards that you can put in front of you. There will be gold cards that in order to win, you need to have a gold card face up that matches the keeper cards you have in front of yourself. Now, this is all pirate theme, and there's some like actions that you can do. Now, none of it was really mandatory, but you could do like if you talk like a pirate, you can get an extra card. That card can come up. I think it did, and we just kind of ignored it because there was people around us. Like it would have been a little bit too embarrassing, but this was blast. Actually, we ended up playing this one 2 times. And here's some of the keeper cards that I had. So I had the Jolly Roger, I had the sloop, the captain's hat. Some of these cards will have like special abilities. So you couldn't loot the captain's hat, but you can get some abilities that allows you to loot some keeper cards from other players. As I mentioned, we played this game twice. I lost twice, unfortunately. Next game that we played was Skull King. Now, I had played this game a long time ago. And it's a trick-taking game, Grandpa Beck game. So I was like, okay, I really want to play this one again. Let's bring it. Perfect theme for pirate game day on the pirate ship. And it was like a brand new game. I hadn't even opened my copy yet, so we opened everything up. And we played this 2 players. Now, trick-taking games normally don't play well at 2 players. This game really had a cool way of including a 3rd player so that it would work. So you're dealing the cards and you deal like a 3rd hand, and that one just flips a card from the top. So it just always plays a card. It's always the middle player. If if I would start, then it would be the middle player, then Lee would go. If Lee started, then the 3rd hand would go, then I would go. But if he won the trick, then he would start the trick, and then we would go clockwise. But it worked out really well. So now what's interesting with this one is you'll have, different suits and then the numbers from, I think, 1 to 14 or something like that. And you can play these cards and you have to follow suit. But then there is the Jolly Ranger. I don't think that's Jolly Ranger. That doesn't sound right. But there's the black card with the captain or the pirate's flag. And if that flag comes up, that trumps all the other suit. Unless you have one of the specialty cards that might affect. So you'll have the pirate cards. Pirate card beats everything. Unless you have the pirate king. Pirate kings beat all the other pirate cards. Unless you have the mermaid. Now, the mermaid doesn't beat the pirate, but it beats the pirate king. And then you'll have so you have all these different cards that come into play. And it's one of those where you need to bid on how many tricks you think you're going to win. And if you're correct, then you get to multiply the amount of tricks that you won by a certain amount of points. I think it was like times 10, times 20 if you win. So times 20 if you win and you're all correct. And then if you're wrong, though, depending on how far off you are, so if you missed it by 1 trick, then you would take 1 times 10. But if you missed it by 3 tricks and 3 times 10, those are negative points. But then some of the cards are worth extra points. So if you ended up capturing a trick that had some of those extra value cards, then you get those extra value as a bonus as well. It was a blast. I absolutely loved it. The first time I played it, I was kind of confused and I was like, okay, yeah, sure, it seems okay. And I was just still under the mentality that trick taking is you're trying to win the trick. That's the goal. And then it threw me off that this one wasn't that way. Now that I've played a lot more trick taking games and I've played this one again, I was like, okay, this one was really, really good. And the artwork was just perfect for playing on a pirate game. So that was Skull King. Then we played Piña Pirata. So this is one of those little mini yellow games, and I love all the mini yellow games. I have a large, well, you could see them there. Oh, no. I don't know how to back the camera up close. Go back. Okay, I'll just slide back. There's going to be wait. Oh, my God. I thought I had turned my hand signals off, but then apparently it reset. But anyway, so Piña Pirata is another, it almost plays like Crazy Eights. Like you will have a card. Let me put, skip ahead here. I'm going to need to change just because this is going to be crazy if it's going to be that zoomed in on me all the time. But it plays like basically a Crazy Eight. You'll have cards in your hand. There's a card out. And you have to match the card that's out and you'll play a different card. Now, these are all different animals. Like that's in some sort of pirate costume or they're pirate characters. And the artwork is amazing. Now, most cards will have 2 different kind of suits on them. One way is like, in this case, is a crocodile. The other way was like the walrus or something like that. Most cards are that way. Some cards, okay, let me... Nope, that's not it, but that is the correct camera. I'm just trying to figure out how to back this up. Oh my God. Yeah, we want autofocus. Auto framing. There we go. That's much better. I don't know that I want auto framing, but we'll leave it like that for now. Okay, so sorry about my camera malfunction here. That was crazy. Okay, so you gotta match the suit and play it. Now, if there's two different animals on the card, you can play either one as long as it matches what's on the card previously. Some cards have just one animal. It makes it harder to match. So keep that in mind. Now, what's interesting is you get these special rule cards that comes up, and there's a whole stack of them. One of them is face down, and it's the first piece of the map. And you're trying to build your treasure map, and that's how you win the goal. So you need to win 3 times in order to win this game. And then you start with the 1. Then if you win, and you win by getting rid of all of your cards, then you take 3 map tiles. You pick 1 to add to the rules, and it adds different things. Like it could do, like, you know, if you play a rabbit, you have to draw another card, or different things like that. Like it just changes all the time. So you're going to add another one to the rule, but then you add 1 to your map, and the third one gets discarded. So you got to play till somebody has won 3 times, and then that's doing it. It's one of the cards, like it's just a simple, adorable, satisfying card game to play. It's just so neat. The artwork is beautiful. It's one that hits the table all the time, and it was perfect to play on this pirate ship. So that was Piña Pirata. Now, there are some games that I have previously played. Some I've packed to come, some I didn't pack to come, and I'll talk a little bit about those. Sea of Clouds is another yellow game. This one isn't a mini. It's a full-size game. And with this one is you are pirates, and you have your own pirate ship, but it's up in the clouds. And it's kind of like a push your luck game, because what's going to happen is you're going to have, and you can see on the top of the card there, you're going to have 3 stack of cards. And on your turn, you're going to add 1 to it and decide if you want to take it or leave it. And if you leave it, then you go to the next one and you reveal a card there. Then you got to decide if you take that or if you're going to leave it. And then the third one. But then if you don't take the third one, like you don't keep going. But then it adds gold to the other piles. And it could be that, do you decide? I think you move forward before you reveal the card. You kind of like, hey, am I taking this? No, I'm going to keep going. The card gets revealed. I was like, oh, man, that would have been good. Or whatever. But eventually, these piles will have acquired value, and you're going to take them. But this is like a set collection game. So depending on the type of cards that you get, they will score you points in different ways. Now, some of them are like crew members that's going to give you like battle power, because every once in a while, like you go in the rounds and then there'll be like a conflict and you battle with the people next to you. So you want to have enough battle value so that you don't lose those, but it's not necessarily tons of points. You get more points into the set collection. And then there's like where you'll collect rum bottles or different artifacts, and then the more you have, the more they're worth. This is a game that I had bought initially as a gift for my brother. Then I ended up buying it for myself and loved the game. And my sister ended up getting it as well. It's one of those, like, it was like a surprise gem. The more, like, after we played, it was like, oh, hold on, this was actually really good. And that was Sea of Clouds. So I had brought this one, but it didn't make it to the table because there was only 90 minutes. Then Plunder, A Pirate's Life. This was the first game that came to mind. It's like, this would be perfect. We need to bring this. But this can be a bit of a big game. So I didn't pack this one just because space-wise, I was concerned. But this one basically reminds me a lot of Catan, but pirate theme. And instead of having like tiles that you go from, like you still have the tiles on the table, but you would travel with your pirate ship. And you're going from island to island, or there's a treasure. There's like a red X on the map. There's a couple of them. And then once you reach it, you pick up a treasure card. You get what's on there. Most of the time it's great stuff. Sometimes it's not good stuff. But what you're going to pick up there, you're going to get rum. You're going to get gold, wood, iron. And then you're going to spend those in combination to do different things. So you can spend some to build a new boat. Then you get an extra boat. Or you're going to spend them to add a cannon to your boat, or to add an extra sail so your boat can move further. Or you can actually buy a victory point. And it's like a 10. Your first to 10 victory point is the winner. So it is such a beautiful, neat, satisfying game to play. Then once you reach the treasure, you reach the X, collect the treasure, you spin like those kind of little spinning wheel thing, and then wherever the arrow lands on, it's going to give you a number and a letter, and then that's where the next treasure goes to. And then you're going to put your treasure there, and then you're going to try to make your way there. But then you can also battle to control different islands, and then if you control an island, the other players can battle you to control your island. And if you guys come side by side, you can either trade with each other or you could battle each other. And there's different things that happens that way because, you know, we're pirates. It's not like a friendly game. But was really neat element. This is a game that I played my friend's copy, and I was so impressed with it and the components that I ended up getting in my own copy. I played it with my family. They loved it with my siblings. So when my sister got married, I bought her own copy. And it's just one that for a pirate themed game, it's beautiful. Now, there's also Jamaica. So Jamaica is a game actually I had won in a contest with our Family Plays game. And I got Jamaica and Jamaica the Crew, the expansion. And this is a really neat, fun game. So it's a racing game. You each have your little pirate ship and you're racing around the island. And it's basically like you move, but you kind of depend on where you land, what you can collect. And then you can stop and kind of jump some of the stuff. And you have this little cardboard pieces, but that's what you have room to carry on your ship. But it is a race. So like, I should go this way because I can get this. Like, but that's the long way. It's going to slow me down because you do want to make your way around. But there's a lot of values in collecting these goods. And it was just such a really, really neat game. So pirate race game. I quite enjoy that one. And it's one that I haven't played in a while. So I do need to get this played again. But this is another one that I wasn't sure size-wise. I didn't know the size of the tables. This one would have been fine. We could have brought it, but I ended up not bringing it just because I wasn't sure. Land and Sea is another game that I brought. Now, this one is more stretch as far as goal-wise. There are definitely pirates in this game. When you're putting the water tiles, you'll notice there's pirate ships all over the place, or there'll be X's on the land. Yes, it could be construed as piratey type theme, but it's not truly a pirate game. And this is a 2-player kind of a area majority game. So we're going to be adding different tiles. One of the players playing as land, and you're trying to create the most clusters of land. The other player's playing as the water, and they're trying to create the most clusters of closed up water. So it's just an interesting game. Where it's like one against the other, but you're using the same tile. So you're adding to the board, trying to, kind of benefit yourself, but mess up the other players. Like, well, I see you're about to close that water. So let me add a little, look, it branches out this way now. And you need to build up this other section of the water. But like looking at the tiles, they're so satisfying. The little artwork on it. Definitely there are some little pirates all over there. Not a true pirate game, but I had brought this one to play. Ended up not playing it mainly because the tables had like little holes, like there was a bunch of planks of wood put together, so the tiles could have fallen in the cracks. So I didn't worry about it, so we left it over. Now, there are some games that I have brought or that I didn't bring, and there were games I had not played, so they're still on my shelf of shame. First one is Pirates Cove. In my defense, I bought this game just the day before we were leaving. A neighbor of mine is selling a couple of games, and then this was part of the games that she had in a pile, and I was like, yeah, I'll take that one. And I took a bunch. So I think I bought like 5 or 6, 7 maybe different games. So I bought a bunch of different games. Pirate Cove was one of them. And it's just a really cool looking game though. So you have a map, you have like the middle area. And from what I understand, you're going to be going to the different location. You're going to select what action you want to do. I believe that's kind of selected by dice. And then you reveal the card, and they'll have kind of different things that's available for each action you do. So depending on the action you pick and what the card shows, what you can do. Now, my understanding from the few reviews that I've watched on this one, this is a very, very simple game. Very simple, straightforward game. So it looks like it's going to be all this great thing, but it's a bit more on the simple side. I have heard a few comments that some people were saying it plays long for how simple it truly is. I haven't played it yet, though, so I'll be giving that a try. I was kind of intrigued with the rondelle, and then just the look of the game looks amazing. I understand this is probably out of print now, so it's kind of cool if you want to come across it, if you want to try to get it. I hear it's a good game. Like, all the comments was it's a good game, but it's more on the simpler side if you're hoping for something that was more deep, and that it might play a little long for what it is. But Pirates Cove, that's one that would have worked for the theme. I just hadn't brought it. Well, actually, I did bring it. We just didn't play it, and I didn't know how to play it. So then Forgotten Waters. So Forgotten Waters has been on my shelf of shame for a long time, because this is a really interesting looking up to 6-player cooperative game. It's like, wow, we're a family of 6. Let's get this. We can get all the kids together. We can all play this together. You can't get all 4 kids at the table at the same time. That was my first mistake. So I think we're just going to have to give up on that dream and play this game, either just me and Lee or with friends, or kind of just not worry about it. But this is one of those games, I hear so much good stuff about it. So depending on who the character you're playing, you're going to be controlling certain aspect or action or movement that you can do in this game. Now, it's one of those games that has multiple maps, kind of like Near and Far, and then you flip over in the book depending on the map that you're on. It is an app-driven game, so all the minutiae is handled by the app. So you are going to have a device available with internet connection in order to play this. But consensus of what I've heard of this game is that it's really, really good. I just have not had the chance to play this one myself, unfortunately. But that was all the games. That's not true. I have a couple of games here that I didn't add to the list, but I will show you. So I have Tiny Epic Pirates. I did bring this one with me. Tiny Epic Pirate is a really fun game, and it looks tiny. Like, okay, so the box is tiny. The game is not. By the time you set it up, it takes up a lot of table. You do need a decent sized table for this one. This one is kind of cool because you do have your pirate boat. You're going to be traveling around. There's a resource collection with this, and you're collecting resource, and then you can go to certain island to sell the resource. And what's cool is when you sell the resource, it resets the value of that particular resource, and there's only so much room that you can carry. So it really gets frustrating if you're about to sell something and somebody else does. But then there's also a merchant boat that goes back and forth, and you're trying to capture them. Like, you can get resources from them. But there's also kind of, I'm not sure what it's called, a military boat. It's not a military boat, but there's another boat that goes around, and you're avoiding him because he's going to come after you. The other game that I had was Ship Shape. And this is actually when I made my first list. This was one of the games that I ended up. Here, let me put this just me so you guys can. Oops. Nope, I am not helping my situation here. Okay, so this is one of the games that I had purchased for the original list in order to bump up my list, but I hadn't played it in time, so I have played it since. It is really interesting. Like, you have these tiles, they're all stacked up. You can kind of see what's on top, you can kind of see what's underneath, but you don't see everything. And you're going to play a card, and that's going to determine the order of who picks up the tiles. And then if you're on the top of the list, you're going to take the top tile and you add it to your bolt, and it's basically your storage unit. You're trying to make it so that all the rats are covered up, because those are negative points, but you're trying to create clusters with the good so that you can score points with them. It's a very simple kind of, there's a fair bit of luck element to it, but it was really neat and satisfying to play. Then I also have Captain Flip, which is a newer game that I had, and this one here is a bag tile drafting game. So you're drafting tiles out of the bag, and you're going to look at it. And then you're going to decide, am I adding this tile to my boat? Or do I want to see what's on the other side? And depending on what it is, it does a certain thing. And you're trying to create these different clusters or different things. Because depending on where the tiles are placed and how it's all organized, they're going to score differently. So be like, oh, yeah, I don't know if I want this one. I'll flip it over and get that one was worse. You can't flip back. Once you flipped a tile, you've committed to the other side, and then you have to add it to your boat. Man, I was really hoping for this, but now I'm stuck with that. There's 4 different maps. It's not maps, ships that you can play with. So the rules changes and the way that they score will change from game to game. It's one that's growing on me. The first time I played it, I was like, is it a kid's game? What did I do? And then I played some more and I was like, oh, okay, hold on. This is a lot of fun. So it's one of those that as I'm playing it, it's growing on me. I'm enjoying it more and more. And that was Captain Flip. So these are all the games that I could have and should have brought with me on the pirate ship to play some games, but I should have booked a table for like the whole day instead of just a little bit. Now, keep in mind, you can actually rent the whole boat or, multiple times, but we just had the one table. I wanted to try it out, see how it was. It was so cool. Now, if you live in Edmonton, you got to make sure you take advantage. If you live in Alberta, it's worth a trip. If you ever go to Edmonton, check out Fantasyland Hotel, the ship in the West Edmonton Mall, and then all the other actions that you can do in the mall. So because this was a solo episode, it obviously is a much quicker, shorter episode. Next one, we're going to get back on track, and we're doing our top 9 games that play 6-player or more, but that aren't technically party games. So high player count games that are still kind of nice, crunchy games to play. So we have that list put together. We just need to find a time that's scheduled, but almost the end of August now. So September's coming on, and hopefully things kind of settle down a little bit and we can connect better. But so stay tuned for that. Also, as I mentioned, FallCon is right around the corner. Well, it's actually just a couple of sleep here. I'm recording this one on Tuesday. FallCon starts Friday, so I'm super excited. But I am going to be live streaming from FallCon all weekend long, so be sure to tune into my channel for that. Unfortunately, Carla's not going to be attending FallCon this year, and is because she is taking search and rescue training, and it happened to be on this same weekend. Unfortunately. So we normally did a FallCon recap episode. We may not do that. That might just be something I do solo, or depending if we don't connect, then I might do that episode solo until we can schedule time to get together. We'll have to see how that's going to work out. But if you do want to follow me, my Facebook page, on YouTube. My YouTube page is Mel's Board Game Room. I also have a Facebook page called Mel's Board Game Room, on Instagram at Mel's_boardgame_room. And the podcast, of course, is the Board Game Specialist. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye, everybody.